The fourth portfolio for this evening is David O'Connor. He's from the United Kingdom. Shokri. We're talking about vitamins, David, just in case you're watching the VOD. I'm not sure. Rubber vitamins, that sounds terrible. Okay, so we've got, man, this new flat design. Interesting. Not sure about it yet. But David is looking to be a hard surface and weapons artist. I'm wondering, hang on here. Oh yeah, portfolio reviews are open, by the way, if you want to sign up, if you're new here. You can just go to this link in chat. And from there, you can just fill this out. Please make sure to put your Discord ID. It gets really difficult to find people sometimes. What I'll actually end up doing is trying to figure out, like, okay, is that username? Maybe I can, like, find out who that is because of this and this. And sometimes it takes me a little while to find people if I don't have their Discord ID. So if you fill that out, put that in there to help me. But yeah, let me just drag this over here and open this up, see if there's any other info. Okay, there is not. That is cool. All good. This is what happens when you talk on stream all the time. You're just talking. You're narrating every move. Cool. David, let's do this. So you've got 3 pieces in your portfolio. If we go and look at the first one, Pokemon, dude. It's all about the Pokemon. Wow, look at that Game Boy Advance. Dude, this brings back some memories. So Game Boy Advance, 4 months ago as well. I'd be really curious to find out how long you've been doing 3D. Because it's like you see like 4 months, and then you're like, oh yeah, I started 3D like 4 months ago. Dude, look at the resolution on the screen too. It's pretty spot on with the shadow as well. Oh, the memories. So what I would say about this post, there's a lot happening. Like, I don't know how many. I don't think you need all the different colors of the Game Boy Advanced. You see how every image is like, it's just a different color. I think I would go with a color that people are more familiar with, versus like, we scroll all the way up here, versus this one becomes really difficult to read your asset, and the color and saturation, it's pretty intense. Delaney's gonna kill me for it, but the saturation's a little high. It's the same with the D-pad. I think the D-pad feels skewed, but that might be how it actually is. The other thing too is with these 2 buttons here, they feel like, let me go to is there a gray one in here? Oh, this one works. The buttons feel like they're not contacting the surface. I think with the start and select button, because you're getting so close to an asset like this, you could take that pill shape and actually inset that. And that I don't think that's crazy. I think that would be like well used geometry for adding that extra detail. If I sign up, when will my turn be? Oh, that's a good question. So if you sign up, your turn would be next year. Actually, no, it'd be December 29th if you signed up right now. You'd be in Group F. So, continue on with this. I think what I would suggest you do is go with like the blue Game Boy Advanced. And then look at what you're doing with your roughness values. So like right now, it's very like dusty and dirty. Think about where it actually gets dirty, or like where like the greasy nerd fingers go all over the buttons and the triggers and whatnot. The bumpers, right? That'll show you like where the detail, where roughness becomes very different. There's also a little bit of, for how close you're zoomed in on your asset, you don't really have a lot of geometry to work with. I would actually suggest zooming out and giving your if I screenshot this, giving your asset, instead of like this much space, giving your asset maybe like that much space. Oop. Pulling it in, or like pulling your camera back and just framing it here. Even there might be too. No, that'll be better, I think. But just more space gives some breathing room to the asset. And again, I think the blue one, there's also a little bit of, like I see in the normal maps, there's a little bit of pinching that's going on here in your bakes. So it's a bit of like poly count. Don't be scared to add polys to this. This thing could be like 2,000 triangles, and I'd be like, cool, is it supposed to be in like a cutscene? All right, that makes sense. You want to just, basically, you want to use enough geometry to not notice the edges. And like smoothing groups are like wiped out because of the normal map bakes and all of that stuff. And then in your high polys, we want to watch out for these pinch points. Now, oh, that's nice. You got some cartridge action going on here. Well, these look pretty cool. You see how the surface is like, it's really dirty, and it makes it feel artificial because of that. So I would be careful on like how far you push that. So this is 6,000, and I was saying 2,000. Am I going crazy? Maybe I was thinking 2,000 quad or 2,000 polys, which would be 4,000. But I mean, these buttons are. You can see how high res these are. These will make it so it's quite round, right? But you need to be putting similar geometry, not like literally this high res, but the geometry to really smooth out these curves so that you don't notice that. There's a lot of information that's in here that doesn't necessarily need to be modeled. But again, this was 4 months ago, so there could be, progress. There's some weird, like, dark, like this light kind of washy stuff happening on the edges here is really strange to me. Yeah, again, I don't think you need this many variations. I would just go with the blue one and just show that asset off. But as we're just looking at the first one, so let's go and look at this second one. Particle sees a big flaw in your Game Boy Advance, that there's not a copy of Advance Wars. Particle, that's a very good point. Advance Wars is extremely important. Holy cow, look at this kit. It's a monster hunting kit. A vampire slash... Wait, are vampires separate from monsters? Are vampires not monsters? I think that's right, actually, when I think about it. Because you wouldn't say, oh my gosh, it's a monster. You would say, oh my gosh, it's a vampire. So this asset looks really cool. There's a lot going on here. It's like a mix between a vampire hunting kit and then like vampires are hot, monsters are not. Okay, you heard it here first. Melissa knows what's up. So this that's garlic. Wow. Okay, wait. What is the scale of this thing? I'm trying to figure out. That guy means business. This feels pretty small. Like that looks like a key. So is that axe like? Yeah, these like really tiny garlics, but then these are big ones, and then that axe is like the size of a kitchen knife, like a big kitchen knife. So I think the things to look at is scale of the assets and really understanding like what you're presenting. I really like the idea, and the attention to detail is really nice. It's the execution of like understanding. Okay, these candles are attached to this chest thing. How does that work? There's there's two Bibles in here, so it's like a two-player situation. Yeah, look, see, we got two crosses. Hmm. It's a really cool idea. Oh, what is this? What's happening here? These candles look nice. Oh yeah, dude. If you press G in this view, will the light thing go away? This looks squished a little bit in the image. Either way, I think we're looking at, man, there's a lot of screens in here. That garlic looks pretty good. Garlic bulbs. The skull of the great demon. Dude, sick. Man, there's a lot of assets you built for this thing. You scroll back up here. So, with the roughness of the fabric material that everything is resting on, you can see that because it's really shiny, it actually ends up looking more like skin or like muscle. The Old Testament and the New, possibly. It's a big book though. Yeah, the scale is the thing that's thrown me off the most. Um, and then the next thing I think is just like PBR values, understanding your saturation range that you get in PBR as well as your values, um, and just executing on the materials well with roughness and whatnot. The scale of the assets on the left side, the book and the skull and stuff, look pretty good. Skull feels like it might be a little shiny in the reflectivity of it through the roughness values, but yeah, this is really intriguing. It just feels like once you solve the scale and the colors, it'll look much better. And then we have the vampire crossbow. Dang, this thing's cool. So this one is a step up from your previous pieces as well. So this is last month. Material wise, looks like you're getting better at materials. There's a bit of like in the edges here. These get so sharp that like I can tell it's been dinged up in something maybe like ZBrush or in Blender. Um, but it's still the way that it's shaped. You can tell that it was geometry first. You know what I mean? And like with the scale of stuff back here, or like the attention to detail is really nice. With the roughness where it's at on the wood, it kind of feels like it's more of like a miniature that's made of like a plastic that would come with like a figurine, like a demon hunter from like Diablo or something. The design of this is really cool. You have the horns in there. The attention to detail on these metal pieces is really nice as well. It's this area, like you see the consistency difference between like the wood here and then the wood here is very different. I think if this central area looked more like this material, I think it would look much stronger. Right now, it looks like there's not much resolution to work with, or like it's not the same material even. Only other thing I would comment on, what scenarios? Wait, hang on. I'm intrigued because in this render, this image is probably the best looking one, and I'm not sure why. Like I don't know what's different. Maybe it's just because it has the room for me to just look at it. Huh. But you can see the areas that are washing out is becoming very bright, and saturation's a bit up there as well. It needs like something in the background, even if it was just the crossbow like blurred out. And the bone is very yellow. I think you maybe if you tone down the yellows, it would be a little bit easier to understand the bone type of material. But yeah, so what you're saying here is you want to be hard surface and a weapons artist. I would strongly recommend. Let me see if it's in here. I would strongly recommend showing your hard surface skills more. Like show us the high polys or the sculpts that you do that show like high resolution understanding of modeling and detailing. Like this crossbow, did this start as like a high poly? Did you model these things out and then bake that information out? Is that yeah, it looks like it was baked. Here we got our UVs here. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, showing the UVs is good. Here we go. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so showing your sculpts and your high poly modeling is going to be a good way to really kind of sell your hard surface understanding. A lot of people assume hard surface is like weapons and stuff, but there's all types of things you can be building, vehicles and whatnot. Well, I will ping you, David, because you messaged me saying you couldn't make the call. I'll message you. I'll give you the link to your video, and I'll ask you if you have any questions. And if you do, I will happily answer them and see if there's anything that we can highlight that could push your work further. But yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing your portfolio. I didn't say that to other people. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your portfolios. It's been good.